What's up, guys? Back with another video, and today we're actually going to be tackling the taillights again, and we're going for success this time. So with that being said, I gotta run and grab some more solder, another soldering iron because I couldn't find my stuff, a few more things, but and coffee. But so yeah, before we get started, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and smash that notification bell, and we'll get right into it. All right, guys, so headed into Lowe's now. In here, I need to grab a new soldering iron, some solder, whatever you call it, some heat shrink, and then some, I guess it's like rosin, and it's made for soldering and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and run in here and grab that stuff, and then I'll catch up with you guys. All right, guys, slight update. So made it to Lowe's, got everything I needed. So I'll show you that stuff when I get home. But right now we're in the Starbucks drive-thru, so I'm gonna get some coffee, and then we got one more stop to make, and then we'll be home and we'll knock those taillights out, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so Starbucks secured. Got the caramel ribbon crunch again, pretty fire. Alice got some kind of concoction per usual.
Let me put y'all on real quick. I asked the dude what his favorite drink was, and this is what he gave me. It's a venti shaken espresso with 3 pumps of white mocha, 3 pumps of toffee nut with cream. It's pretty bomb.
Anyway.
It does look like milk though, but don't let that, I was a little wary of it too, but it's good.
Yeah. Coffee talk. But got some food too. She got a little panini thing. I got the I don't know, some kind of biscuit. Yeah, sausage, egg, and cheddar biscuit. But anyway, that's besides the point. We're at Hobbytown, USA. And this is the only place that has like the correct solder or whatever you want to call it that I want to use. So I'm gonna run in here and grab that, and then we'll head back home and get these taillights knocked out. All right, guys, so made it back from the store and everything. Went to Lowe's and then went to that little Hobbytown USA thing and got the solder that we need. So here's the taillights once again, just in case you didn't see the last video where I attempted this, but wasn't able to do it because didn't have enough time. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and use the harness. So basically, I reached out to this guy on YouTube. I think his channel is called Evil S5. It was basically an exhaust video, but I noticed that he had the 4.2 liter V8, which comes with the halogen taillights or the pre-facelift LEDs, and he had the Beat 8.5 LEDs on there. So I was like, hit him up. I was like, so how'd you do this? Like, did you get an adapter or did you wire it yourself? So he said he wired it himself, and I was like, okay, cool. And I asked, like, did he use like the stock connector from the halogen, or how did he do it? So basically, he told me that the taillights that he got came with the adapter from the other car, kind of like this one. So he went ahead and just used this and snipped off the stock halogen connector from the car and then attached this one. So I'm going to be doing it that way, and that should be, I think that's the most simple way there is to do it. So we're going to give that a shot. So I'll go ahead and show you everything that I got. Went ahead and got a new soldering iron because we moved and I don't know what I did with the other one. So just a regular old soldering iron, some flux paste, or basically like rosin paste. It's supposed to be really good to help spread the solder when it gets heated up, so it helps it like spread in there. But I didn't even realize I accidentally grabbed the plumbing one and not the electrical one, so I'm not going to be able to use that. But the solder should be fine by itself. I'm pretty sure it has the rosin and stuff in there anyway. So got some wire cutters / strippers, and I just got some heat shrink. So we'll go ahead and head out to the garage and see if we can get this knocked out. All right, so if you watched the last video, then you've already seen this part, so you can fast forward through it. I'm just gonna be taking off the taillight and then getting access to the wires that we're gonna be soldering. But for those who haven't seen this, I'm gonna show you how to disconnect the stock halogen taillight. That way we can get prepared to solder the new ones on there. All right, so basically you've gotta pull out this little compartment. So there's a lever right here to get the clip loose. You just gotta give it some force on this right side. Comes right out, and then you've got to loosen up this little bolt or screw it right here, whatever you want to call it. And that's pretty much all that's holding that outside tail light in. So loosen that up, and then we can pull it out and disconnect the old tail light there. Thought I could get it loose because I didn't use anything to torque it last time, but nope, still too tight. this is what the screw looks like. I kind of use a little Allen key to break it loose. But now we can pull this on out of here. All right, that's the old taillight out. So basically, to get this clip loose, kind of push down on this little tab here, and then you can slide it right out. So we're actually going to be disconnecting this harness from here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the wire cutters and then snip this off of here and then see how we're going to go about wiring this back up. All right, guys, so we went ahead and checked out the new LED harness and compared it to the stock one. And it looks like they're pretty much the same colors and have like the same wires, so it shouldn't be too crazy to match them up. I was looking at like these numbers and stuff down here, and some of the colors were different on certain numbers, but I think we can figure it out. But right now I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the battery because mama ain't raised no dummy and I'm not about to be soldering wires with power still going to it. So we'll go ahead and get that disconnected. So first you gotta kind of remove the spare tire, and then below there's the battery. So I'll go ahead and get that pulled out of there and disconnect the battery. All right, so after you pull out the wheel and then the cover that covers up the wheel, basically the battery's up under here, so really you can just lift it up. Here's the negative terminal and then the positive is over here. Just gotta loosen those up and then disconnect them and then we should be good. All right, so went ahead and got the negative side of the battery disconnected, and then I got that plastic piece sitting between it and the terminal. That way I don't have to worry about it accidentally touching back together and zapping me or anything crazy. So with that done, we should be able to go ahead and snip these wires here and then start trying to wire up the new connector there. So stay tuned and we'll get that going. All right, guys, so had to take a small break because they were cutting the grass outside and it was super loud, but I basically went ahead and took off this piece of tape that was on these wires. Then we're just gonna snip these with some room left on there, so that way if I need to use it again, I'll have room to, wire it back up, but enough to give me some room to attach the new one. So we're gonna go ahead and snip these wires and then keep going with this process. All right, so we got this one off. Left a little room so that way if I need to, I can put it back on there, but I didn't want to cut too far into the wires. That way we have plenty to work with. All right, so basically I'm gonna strip these wires and then just attach them. Like I'm gonna twist them together and attach them and just test it out, make sure everything's working before soldering them, because I don't want to, get it all put together and then realize nothing's working. So. All right, so went ahead and got one of the little plastic casings off of there. All right, so we've got all 5 of the wires stripped there. So I'm gonna go ahead and strip the wires on the harness real quick and then twist them together and throw the light on there to make sure everything's working right. All right, so now we've got the wires on the harness all stripped off as well. So we're gonna twist these up and just test them out real quick to make sure everything's good. Got them all connected up. So probably put like a small piece of tape around these just to make sure they aren't touching or anything when I slide it up in there so it doesn't fall. But got those connected, and hopefully when I reconnect the battery and turn on the lights, they light up. And so like I said, this is just temporary, just make sure they aren't touching wall. I tested out, so I made it as easy as possible to get back off. So we'll go ahead and plug this bad boy up and then connect the battery, and hopefully we have life. So we have life, which is a good sign. Does not look like any of the LED bulbs are out, which is also a good sign. But the reverse light is on, and it's not in reverse. So gonna have to figure that out, but so far so good. All right, so went ahead and put the car in reverse and tested it out, and then this center light here came on. So I'm not sure if this is the actual brake light or if that's just part of like the the lights as they just run. So we're gonna try to switch a couple wires around and hopefully hopefully we'll get it right. All right, so now I got to figure out which one is the reverse light and which one's the brake light, and try to swap those out. So I'm going to start with the gray ones because I know those look similar, and I feel like that's just a good starting point. So we'll swap these out. Give this a shot real quick. All right, so since that didn't work, I'm gonna go ahead and try to match these up by the numbers. So you've got 1 through 5 here, and then you've got 1 through 5 on this one. So I'm gonna try to match them up by those numbers instead of just the colors, and hopefully that'll solve the problem here. All right, so we matched all the numbers up. We're gonna give this a shot. Hopefully it finally works. Really hoping. All right, so that one was a no-go. Nothing lit up that time, so we're gonna go back to matching the colors, and then we'll have to, maybe I'll switch like the green and the yellow ones, and hopefully that'll do the trick, but I'm really not too sure at this point, so we're just gonna have to keep playing with it until we can figure it out. All right, guys, so I finally figured it out. So basically this brown cable connects to the brown cable that comes out of the car. That's the power cable. This black and yellow cable, it goes to like the side, just running light. That'd be this light over here. So it looks like the outside, just running light. This gray and white cable connects to the black and green cable on the car, which is the reverse light. And then the straight gray cable that comes from the harness connects to the gray and blue cable on the car. And that is the outer ring, which doubles as a brake light. And then this black and green cable that comes off the harness connects to the straight gray, the solid gray cable that comes out of the car, which is the, like that middle light right there, which also doubles as a brake light. I tried to figure out how to, because basically right now when it lights up, which I'll show you here in a second, basically this is always lit up as well as the outer ring. So when I brake, they both light up and it's always lit up. So I couldn't really figure that out. I tried to switch it out and test it a little bit and see, but I wasn't really able to figure out how to just get this one to come on when braking. So that may just be because I don't have like a resistor or anything, but other than that, got it figured out. I'll go ahead and plug it up and show you what it's looking like, and then we'll get going, getting it soldered up. So that was pretty much the longest part, was kind of figuring out what wire does what and how to get things to work right. So this took quite a while, but as for the rest of them, since I know what I'm looking for now, it shouldn't be as long. So this is what it's looking like without the brakes on, and then that's what it's looking like with the lights on, or with the brakes on. So like I said, the middle doubles as the daytime running light and the brakes, or just the tail light and the brakes, as well as like the outer ring, which I think it looks pretty good. So I don't think it'll bother me too much. And then we got the reverse light wired up correctly as well. So yeah, we're looking good there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this back off and get it soldered together, and make sure it's still working after that, and then get moved on to the next one. All right, guys, I've just made the executive decision. I'm not gonna solder these. I'm just gonna tape them up with electrical tape and let them be. There's nothing that's gonna happen to them but just taping them up. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. So literally just gonna throw some tape on there. I tried to solder a couple of them, but it was taking way too long for it to heat up, so I started cheating, and then with that, you can risk getting cold spots and stuff. So yeah, gonna go ahead and tape this up, and then there's literally nothing that's gonna happen to it, so it should be fine, and it should be a lot faster. So we're gonna go ahead and start taping these, and then we should be good to go. All right, so got everything taped up. I'm gonna throw this screw back in there and tighten her down, and then we'll move on. So making that decision to just tape everything rather than soldering everything is definitely a great decision when it comes to the sake of time. So as you can see, I got that right side tail light finished. It took way longer than it should have, but now we're gonna move on to the rest of the lights, and hopefully we can knock them out a little bit faster. But I think it looks great. And yeah, the tape is gonna hold not just as well, but it's not gonna move around or anything. So now we're going to try to knock out this right side trunk piece. Basically, you just gotta pull down on this, if you can get a grip. If you can't get a grip, you may use a clip removal tool. Old inner light. So basically we're going to do the same thing as we did down there on the outside one. We're going to use this and attach it to the body, and then we'll just use the harness that comes with the LED to have everything hooked up. So go ahead and clip these wires. All right, and on these inner ones there's only 3, so that should be a lot easier to figure out which one does what. Got a big boy flying over. For any of you guys that have played GTA 5, that's a cargo bob flying through the air. All right, guys, so now we've got the inner trunk light. So we're gonna go and snip it like we did the ones earlier. Try to give us a little bit of room to fall back on if we gotta throw these back on there. So I got that one off, and then we're gonna go ahead and get the other harness and try to get it connected to here. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and do like we did before. I'll kind of get the rubber off of the outside of here so you can access the wire. There we go. Got that one off. All right, so got all of the wire stripped, so we're gonna go ahead and twist these up. Since there's only 3, just gonna match all of the colors and then go from there. All right, so we got all 3 of those twisted up. Can make a couple of them a little bit better, but I'm gonna go ahead and plug it up and test it out and make sure everything's working. All right, guys, so went ahead and got it plugged back up. I'm not sure why, but this inner light on the trunk here is giving me trouble. So basically when you first turn the ignition on, it'll power on, but then it goes right off. But the reverse light works fine. As you can see, the reverse light is fine. But yeah, I don't know what's up with that inner light there. And then the brake light there as well isn't going on, but I don't think it looks bad with just the outside. And the reverse light does work, which you rarely use. But yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on there. We'll have to try to figure that out at a later time. But for now, I'm gonna knock out this left side. You guys have already seen me do it here and struggle with all of this stuff. So I'm just gonna get it knocked out, get it thrown back on there. Then we'll have to try to figure out what's going on with that inside light there. Just a slight update. So I found out that my battery is dead. Well, it's not dead, but it just doesn't have enough juice to turn the car over, probably because I had the door open for a while. So that may be why that inside light isn't working. I'm not too sure. It probably takes more power than the halogen, but either way, gonna knock this side out, and then I'll catch up with you guys when I finish it up. All right, guys, back with another update. So took a little break, went and got some food. So I've got the passenger side fully buttoned up. The driver's side, I've gotten the outer light hooked up on there, and then now I just have to knock out the trunk light on the driver's side. I ran into a little issue on the driver's side. So basically, the colors and stuff were different between the wires, so it was pretty similar. I ended up just figuring out which one was reversed. So I believe the gray and yellow one was reversed, and then can't quite remember exactly what it was, but I basically figured out that that was reversed, and I kind of guessed really because I got frustrated with it. So threw something together, tested it out, and boom, it worked. So pretty much you can do the same thing as I did on the passenger side if you're doing this yourself, and just kind of test them out and figure out which one does what. So you can figure out like which wire coming from the car controls like the reverse lights or the braking lights, and then you can figure out by what is lighting up when you brake or put it in reverse and which one it attaches to on the harness. So kind of playing around and figuring it out, and I got it to work. So now I'm gonna knock out this last trunk light, and then we'll call it a day. All right, guys, so as you can tell, it is a new day. Went ahead and knocked out that driver's side like I said I was gonna do last night, but overall I think it looks great.
here's what we're looking like now. And as you can see, the middle ones, I don't know why, but the trunk lights do not seem to be lighting up. Like the daytime running light isn't doing what it's supposed to. So the reverse light does work, but for some reason this won't power on, and then the middle one either. So I'll have to figure out what that is and see if I can resolve that. But other than that, I think it looks great. So I haven't seen any other S5s with just the outside lights on, so I may leave it that way, we'll see. But it does, the brake lights do work, the signals work, and yeah, everything works like it's supposed to. I will say there is a light on the dash, basically because it thinks there's a light out because I don't have any resistors on there. So I'm gonna have to grab a couple of those and throw them on there, and that should resolve the light on the dash. But other than that, came out pretty good. The only little issue I ran into was figuring out which wires were what and how to hook them up. But all right guys, so gonna go ahead and wrap the video up here. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. I've got a lot of stuff coming, so be sure to stay tuned and check that out. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.